Hi everyone.
Hello.
This is the very first episode of Roving Hearts.
Yeah.
And we're both a little nervous, but we're really excited to connect with you guys and just share our love for what we're doing. So my name's Laura and I am I Heart You on Instagram, and this is Rochelle, and
I am Endless Roving on Instagram and Ravelry.
and so together we are Roving Hearts.
Yeah.
I Heart You and Endless Roving is coming together. We've been friends for quite a few years. We met through a love of fiber arts. Rochelle was a spinner. I hadn't learned how to spin at that point, and I was just amazed at what she was doing. And you were just learning to knit.
Yep. And she's a prolific knitter. She can help you out of any tight spot.
So
Yeah.
we came together through our love of fiber arts, and over the years we've really developed our own styles and just directions that we wanted to go to. And so this is just a natural kind of coming together where we've been sharing with the community especially through Instagram for me, and in Ravelry, and just there's so many amazing fiber artists and crafters and knitters out there and spinners, and we're just so inspired by it, and we've wanted to share a bit more of what we're doing.
And we were both kind of looking for this extra outlet at the same time, and it just worked. So here we are, and going to share some of our projects and things we've been learning and practicing, and different activities that we're involved with the greater community at large. So
welcome, and
Yeah.
and I hope you enjoy it.
we'll see.
Bear with us.
Yeah. So what do you want to start off with?
Well, you've got some beautiful roving in your hands.
Okay.
Why don't we start with that?
So I was at the winter market on Pender Island yesterday, and I forgot my next spinning project, which were some rolags from Laura. So I had a braid of this merino and silk, and I just stripped it down. Here, I'll show you.
Lengthwise, right?
Yeah, stripped it lengthwise from end to end in the braid, and you can kind of see the colors.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
So this is fiber that I dyed in the summer, and I just started spinning it. So hopefully next time I'll be able to show you the finished spin. I'm just going to do, well, I'm really practicing my chain ply, so I'm going to spin a very fine single, and then see if I can see what I get when I do a chain ply.
Yeah, there's some silk in there. It's got a beautiful sheen. It's gorgeous.
Not really picking up, but there you can see the bands of silk. But anyway, I'm excited about that.
Just glows.
Yeah. Oh, and I've never knit a cardigan, and so I asked Laura if we could kind of work on the same pattern at the same time, just in case I came into any hang-ups. And so this is what I've got done.
Here,
We're doing the garter yoke cardigan.
I've got a picture on my phone I can show
yeah.
you. So this is just off of Pinterest. Can you see that? Yeah, so there's a beautiful Noro yoke on it, and that was really what attracted us to the project. And so we both went out and we picked out our Noro.
I am using colorway 351. Yeah, 351. And it's got the green, blue, and yellow. And then I'm going to do the main body with the Malabrigo in olive, which I haven't got yet. And I ordered it online, so I'm really hoping the colors will work together. Yeah, and
I think it's gonna be gorgeous.
It's got short rows in it, so the wrap and turn, and I've done a couple of scarves with that technique and haven't done it in a while. So it's just nice because it's got a little bit of technical potential for growth anyway.
Yeah, and it's a great pattern. It's like very simple knit. You know, you do a garter yoke, a few short rows, and then it's just, you know, pretty straightforward, lots of stockinette. But I think it'll just make a really nice project. It's going to shine with the Noro.
Well, you're busy knitting away on
I
it. Why
am.
don't you show how much you've gotten
So it's
done?
upside down here. Let's flip it over. I've been working on it for a little longer. I got my yarn.
Don't
Oh no,
lose
it's
theirs.
fine. Before before Rochelle, so I'm a little bit ahead, but I'm just gonna kind of get it back into cardigan shape. I've also been Instagramming this as I go, so you can check out Instagram for some progress shots. But so you can see there's the beautiful Noro yoke.
Oh yeah.
And it's got this great reds and greens and a little bit of kind of a sky blue maybe in there. And then the body is Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in sweatshirt. I'll get you the Noro colorway when I get my ball of yarn out. So yeah, I've got the sleeves just on some scrap yarn right now. And, you know, finish those off. It'll look a lot better when it has sleeves. But I'm almost at the bottom. I think I'm going to finish knitting soon and do a little ribbing. And then...
Oh, cute little stitch marker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's
and I
a
can
little
show
deer.
these. I've got these adorable stitch markers. I'm going to have to ask my friend Rowie, Pirates Yarn. She gave them to me. There's a little tiny deer. And then I've got a little owl on the other side. And this was a gift. I know she got them off of Etsy, but I can't remember the shop. And so I'll ask her. There's my little owl. You see?
Very sweet.
Yeah, so I've got little owls, and there was a little gnome, and yes, they're very sweet. Just make it so much nicer to knit. So yeah, so we're working on that together, and actually we've got a few other friends. Rochelle's aunt is going to be working on it as well. She's going to start one, and my friend who I mentioned who gave me the stitch markers, Rowie from Pirates Yarn. She's a friend of ours. Pirates Yarn with three R's.
3 R's.
Yep.
Yarn.
Like. So she is already finished hers. She's prolific
She's a whiz.
and amazing. Yeah, and so we're all at different stages, and we're all kind of using a similar idea, but we're getting totally different results, which is great. They're all totally, you know, our colors,
Yeah,
right?
that's where the flavor of the individual comes in, is when you choose your own yarn.
Yeah, the same, you know, the same pattern and the same kind of idea with the Noro yoke, but we're going to have 3 completely different projects in the end. Hopefully, in case we all wear them on the same day. It is a small island.
Yeah, very small community here. Actually, that would be kind of charming. Okay, speaking of Rowie and Pirates Yarn, one of my goals for 2016, is to weed through my stash and gift or sell whatever I'm not enthused about using. But one of the things that I collected was these 3 skeins.
Love those.
These were hand dyed by Rowie, or Pirates Yarn. And I originally got them to do a baby cardigan. And I thought they'd be fun for a child to wear.
So that's a bulky weight, right?
Yeah, bulky. And I can't remember what she named this colorway. But when I was there...
I think it's like Caribbean Sunset or something, isn't it?
Sounds right.
Let's go with that.
Looks like a Caribbean sunset. So I'm going to use those in something this year. And while I was there picking out the yarn for this baby sweater, I fell in love with this colorway. Oh, there's her label.
Yeah, there's her logo. She's amazing. She's got just such a great sense of color.
Yeah, so this one's called Burn and Pillage. And I fell in love with it, so I'm going to do something for myself with that. And this is a DK weight superwash merino. So, one of a kind, unfortunately.
We were talking, I have some DK from her as well. 1 skein of DK, 100 grams, 3.5 ounces. And Rowie was saying that you can take 100 grams of the hand-dyed and make a little baby sweater and just use, a solid color to do kind of the cuffs and the button band and just stretch it out a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll go a fair distance then.
It's a nice way to use like a hand dyed, really nice product, but you don't have to buy 2 skeins.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, one of the other kind of community projects that I have going on, and it's open, but Rachel from Welford Pearls, she's doing the Woolen Spinning podcast, and her Instagram handle is Welford Pearls, and she's on Ravelry, I think, also as Welford Pearls. She started a group, and we were talking about doing a spin along, knit along, because in one of her podcast episodes, she was talking about grist and planning your spin for a larger project, which is another goal of mine for this year, because there's a lot of planning that goes into it, and I'm not familiar with how to calculate what kind of yardage you're going to get from the weight of fiber that you have. And so she's started the thread already in her Ravelry group. We haven't really connected in a while about it, and I really want to dye my own fiber. But I'm just putting it out there. Any of you who are spinners, that's kind of the main thing for me, is to sample my spinning and get it right up into a knitted swatch, and then trying to calculate and plan what I'm doing. So I'm thinking of doing one of Melody Hoffman's shawls. She's from Bee Mandarines on Instagram, and I think Ravelry as well. But she's been designing a few things, and at first it was going to be the canopy shawl, but I think I get a little overwhelmed with lace, and so she has another one. I wish I knew the name. We're gonna learn how to edit, and we'll share the name. But it's got 3 sections, and this middle section has these almost like blossoms or little cherry type shapes of eyelets.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And I thought that would maybe be a straightforward knit that would go quickly as well. So I would do that with hand spun. So that would be something to check out if you were interested.
Yeah, that would be quite the project. I've done spinning before where I go to knit with a skein that I've spun, and say I make 2 mittens out of a little skein, and one of them is way denser than the other. Because obviously as I'm spinning, I started going thinner and thinner, and so the first half of my skein is thick, and then the second half ends up being a little thinner. So consistency.
Yeah, and I
huge.
think as you're spinning, to take and do check your wraps per inch, or like have your what you're shooting for right beside you, so that you can compare periodically as you're spinning, and like, oh, I need to get back on track, or adjust, right?
Yeah, make sure that you're not, well, whatever, that you're not changing your spin halfway through once you've gotten a feel for the fiber and drafting. Yeah, I might join in on that too.
Yeah. So what next? Oh, actually, I'll just point out, I got a couple of issues of, it's backwards too, but Ply Magazine, which I was really excited to check out. And so I went to our nearest local yarn shop, our favorite, Naughty by Nature in Victoria, just off Fairfield.
Victoria. Lillian and Fairfield. Lillian Road.
Yeah. Anyways, this issue is called Community, and that, again, fits in with my goals. I always hear about Spinzilla and Tour de Fleece after they've happened. Yeah. It's like, okay, so now they're on my calendar, and I really want to participate. But this community issue had a short article about spinning to spec and how different your yarns can turn out. Like even your singles can be very similar, but if you prepare, or as you're spinning, or how you finish your yarn, it can all affect the density. Anyways, so it was a good little article, and I recommend checking it out. But they also talk a lot about sampling and
Yeah, it's really about being very mindful all the way through. You know, I tend to sit down and just go, and then halfway through I'm like, oh, I don't do that.
right.
You know, I should have thought about this and thought about what I wanted to make with it first of all, and I've just not ruined my fiber, but
Yeah, like just being more thoughtful with it.
yeah.
I do that too. Like I started that spin yesterday. I'm like, I didn't even think about what I wanted to do with it, but I am working on chain plying. But you know what? That wasn't very thoughtful. It was just because these color transitions, I guess they're there. There will be a pink section and the blues and the purples, and I guess they are there. And then when you spin, that'll stretch out quite a ways.
Yeah, and all the white will blend in and lighten up the fiber. Yeah, I think it'll be very pretty.
Speaking of white blending in, why don't you show them?
Oh yeah, I wish we had a photo of it before this one. So I may be able to dig one up, but so this is my favorite skein of hand spun right now that I spun. I'm going to get really close so you can see. So it's a 3-ply, and it's a wool and silk blend, and this is dyed by Rochelle. So this was a Christmas present from my husband, and so I spun it really thin. It took me quite a long time. I spun really thin, and then did a chain ply. But the skein started out, it was, had dark sections, and then it had really, really intense pink sections, and then there was bits of white. And when you spin, it all just kind of softens and melds together, and then this is a chain ply, so I've kept a little bit of the color transitions. But yeah, it's so neat to see how the difference between what it looks like in the roving, and then how it will look when you spin it up, as the colors kind of combine with each other and play off each other. So yeah, this turned out I think more pink than we thought.
Yeah, because I actually dyed it to be black and red.
And so you can see there are little spots where it's pretty intense red still, but a lot of it softened with the white into like a nice pink, which I love.
Yeah, I was happy to see how that turned out because I hadn't had a chance to spin any. So I've since dyed 2 other batches, a roving one with the dark and green, emerald green, and amethyst. But when the colors in the dyes blend, you get these blues and
they're gorgeous. They're drying right now.
Yeah,
You can see them another time, but they're gorgeous.
yeah.
So there's that, and maybe I'll show you guys. I've got 2 more skeins. One's on the floor. Here we go. So I've got 2 more skeins to show you, and this kind of might go into the next thing that I'm going to talk about a bit.
Can I interrupt?
Yeah, we need to get on track here.
So I just hit 500
Yes.
followers on Instagram, and I was so excited to get there.
I dropped it on the floor.
Thank you, and I'm glad that you're interested in what I share on there. If you happen to be an Instagram follower. And so I'm putting together a little giveaway, and Rowie's going to donate some yarn, which I don't have my hands on yet, so I can't show it to you. And Laura's going to donate some rolags.
So we'll talk about
and
rolags.
And I'm throwing something in
I
too.
thought so. I thought you might, it's cool. You can just give me
Yeah, I'll just give everyone else's stuff away.
So, so maybe I'll show you the ones I made. I kind of had these in mind as a set to pass along for Rochelle's giveaway. So this might take some explaining. These are rolags. I'm just gonna get it kind of rolled back up. So this is a little donuts of beautiful fiber. There's some black right in the center. It transitions to gray, and then there's this minty green in here, and then this kind of, you called it dusty rose. So the idea with these is taking roving, and you put it on a board, a board full of teeth, and you kind of spread all the fiber out, and then you roll it and spiral it into these dowels, and then when you take it off, take the dowels out, you have this beautiful rolag. I don't want to pull this one because we're going to give it to someone, but if you start to pull it, it's just going to start to spin beautifully. You almost get like a woolen spin out of it, or like a from the fold spin. Nice airy, and anyways, they're just so much fun to play with. So that's what I've been doing, and I'll just maybe from there show you, because we're kind of talking about our spinning, I'll show you the skeins that I've done recently for my rolags. So this is kind of a different technique for me here. This is plied with thread, so a very thick single, and then you can see I've got a blue, just like a polyester sewing thread that I had in my sewing room, and so I just took that and plied, and then this one is sort of a dusty rose with the white, and then I've got a pink thread plied through there. Can you pick that up?
Not quite.
Not really.
Oh yeah,
there you
there
go.
it is.
Yeah, so that's...
It looks like such a soft, like warm, something so cozy, you know?
Yeah, so this kind of, I've never done this before. This is a new technique. I'm always trying to try different techniques so I don't keep spinning the same yarn over and over, which is really dangerous to do. You just end up making the same yarn no matter what you're doing. So this is a totally different technique where I was spinning a single really quickly. You can see it's really thick and thin because I didn't have a lot of time to draft. And so it's really smooshy. There's still lots of air incorporated because there's not a lot of twist. And then plied with the thread, and the thread's just going to kind of hold it together, I hope.
Yeah.
You know, keep it from getting too fuzzy and too pilled. But this was 50 grams of fiber that I started with, and you know, I think I ended up with maybe 60 yards, maybe a little more. So yeah, so that's not bad, and it's a nice way to kind of stretch it out without plying. You know, if you ply, you lose half your yardage. If you ply with a bit of thread, then you're going to kind of make the most out of your fiber, I guess. Yeah, so these are my two rolag spins, my most recent rolag spins with the thread, and sorry, I'm a little distracted. So maybe I'll go onto the blending board.
Sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll show you guys that. So I've loaded up my blending board. This will just give you an idea of what I'm talking about in case I'm not making any sense. So this is an Ashford blending board. So you can see I've already loaded a whole ton of fiber on there. You can see it's in there. And so it's this board. It's full of little teeth, just like a giant hand carder. You can picture that, and then it comes with one single carder. Sure.
Brush.
And yeah, so you just lay the fiber on, you pull it through. So maybe if you could hold it. I've got a little chunk of fiber left to blend in, which I also dropped on the floor. So we've got just this little bit of nice.
Oh, see the
merino
beautiful
silk.
little tails there? You can kind of see the colors that are in
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you can see I've got all these kind of, I don't know, like really bright sunset colors. So you just basically take your fiber. I've already loaded a bunch on. I'm just doing a bit to show you. And you just kind of hold it on the top, and then the teeth will just grab it. And so you can just kind of lay it wherever. You know, if I see any thin spots, I'll try and fill those up a bit. And then you just take your brush and you just pull it right through. So you're kind of painting with fiber. There's a great tutorial I think Ashford has on YouTube on how to do this. And then how am I going to
Can
show
you do
this?
that while I'm holding it?
We can try, but you're going to have to give me some resistance. So I've got 2
Okay.
dowels, and this all came together. This is a kit from Ashford. You get the board. It's got a little base that allows it to stand up. You can turn it sideways if you want to ice it cross-legged a lot and use them. And then you get your 2 dowels, and you kind of put them in a little, with the little ends offset a bit so that it's easy to pull out. And I'm just going to start drafting this fiber off.
Oops.
There.
Great shot of your arm.
Oh yeah, really nice. Okay,
There.
let's try that.
Okay.
So you can see the fiber is going to pull and just start to spiral, and it's drafting it all out and mixing all these colors up. How's that coming out?
Good,
Yeah?
I think.
Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit more.
Yeah, and the thing that surprised me is that you get quite a few of these rolags off of one load on the board.
Yeah, I tend to put about 25 or 30 grams on at a time. So what is that, an ounce? It's about an ounce at a time, say, more or less. Here, I'm going to pull this off now so Shell doesn't have to struggle.
It's okay.
And yeah, so then look at the color changes in there. They're just gorgeous, the way they've come out. And this is a lot of Corriedale, so it is a bit coarse, but I put some merino silk in there too. And then I'm just going to take the one end. This is why it's so important to offset, is because they get pretty tight, and you're just going to kind of twist and then pull this off without smacking your friend in the face.
Or knocking your drink over.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of just slide it out right onto my forearm because they are a bit delicate. And you can just, you could spin them like that, but I usually just roll them up because they look really pretty. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'll show you on this one because this is one of mine. I'm not giving away. I'll show you how to draft. So it just wants to be yarn. Mm-hmm. It just drafts so beautifully, and it's really easy to control your thickness. And anyways, you just get these wonderful colors. It's totally different from spinning something hand dyed, and it's different from a bat as well. Like to me it's smoother to spin than a bat. A bat sometimes you really have to work on if it's been mixed up. Anyways, really love making them, and I've made ridiculous amounts of them. I'm not going to show them all to you, but my favorites this week are the rainbow.
Yeah. Hey, we're back.
Hi, we've had some technical difficulties, and so we've wardrobe change, and we're back to conclude. I was just finishing up with the blending board, and I just wanted to show you some of the rolags that I've been able to pull off there. So I started with some of this neon Corriedale. That's new from Ashford, and it's Corriedale done really bright neon colors, and I love it. So we've got these ones here, which are black in the center, and then we've got the neon pink, and so you can either spin them as a gradient, or you can ply them and kind of mix up all the colors. You have a lot of options with what you want to do with the rolags and how you want to make your yarn look at the end. And then these ones I was playing with like a gradient ideas. They're like my rainbow rolags.
Nice.
So the lighting's not great, but this will give you an idea. I did loaded the board up 3 times with 2 colors each time. And so they're all going to kind of meld together, and you're going to be able to spin it into this beautiful gradient rainbow. And then these ones are also kind of like a play on the rainbows as well, where I've got all the colors of a rainbow in there, but they're all blended in with like a deep dark brown. So it just subtle, like makes everything a little bit more subtle, but there's blue and orange and purple and yellow and yeah, all the different colors in there.
That's really stunning.
Get a really good effect. You can see, you can play with the silk. I love throwing silk in there because you get such a great shine off of it. And yeah, they're just so nice to spin. And go ahead.
That reminds me of petrol on concrete.
No, that's what you can call it. I can think of dirty rainbow. That was all I could think of. So I like that. Yeah, so you can go a lot of places with the board. I've just really enjoyed being able to blend my own fibers and play with my own colors, and like it's a totally different spin than you get from a hand dyed roving top or something like that. You know, it's going to be just completely different effects with your colors, and it's just really fun to play around with a different medium. And
I have one of your Rolex spins right
oh,
there.
perfect. And then that's great. We can see kind of how they turn out. You know, I had my thread plied that I showed you guys earlier, which is a cool technique, but to me it's, you know, it's not very sophisticated, maybe. And
It's just
so,
this isn't either.
well,
It's
and then that's just
a
a beautiful
singles. You can see that it's overspun by quite a bit, but oh well, maybe I shouldn't have shown that. But these Rolags were a gift from Laura that I got in the summer for my birthday, and just something a little different than the plied, but
yeah, and you can just really see the way the colors kind of play onto each other. And I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot more Rolex spins as we go on.
Yes,
because I'm kind of obsessed right now.
Okay, so that's it for this episode. And we already have lots of new things to share. And so we'll save it for the next one and hope you'll join us.
Yeah, well, hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was tolerable.
Oh, right. There was a couple of housekeeping things.
Yeah.
The garter yoke cardigan that we were talking about earlier, it was designed by Melissa Labar.
Okay.
And it's called a number 22 garter yoke cardigan. And
if you Google garter yoke cardigan, it should pop up on Ravelry.
And we will be honing our editing skills and hope to be able to give credits during the video so that you can see, we can give reference to who we're talking about and credit to some of the patterns and whatnot that come up. So bear with us.
Big plans.
And
big plans.
hope to see you again for episode 2. Bye for now.
Bye.